Okay, greenhouse update. This is the beginning of March 2021. Let's see what's going on in the greenhouse. So, to my left, we have jade plants that I have rooted in water, 3 poppies that I've potted up, and they seem to be growing good, except for this one. This one seemed to have died. Agave that's rooting in water, rooting pretty nicely. Over here we have some oleanders that I've pruned the tops off to see if they'll flesh out all against this. My palm tree that I potted up it's been months. It's gotten this leaf, but it hasn't gotten a second leaf, so I don't know how well it's doing. I got a couple Gladiolas Seedlings in the back that have overwintered entirely in the greenhouse. I don't think hardly anything's died because of the cold in here. We have a little peanut plant that's very damaged. A new peanut plant. I don't know why, for some reason, I have the hardest time trying to grow peanuts. No clue why. No clue. Some bird seed, I believe it's millet, that has just been growing in here. A weird plant that I dug up in the back of my backyard, and I'm pretty sure it's a sunflower, because I got sunflowers in the next tray over. This is a sweet broom that I tried growing from seed, and it looks like some sort of fungus or something messed with it, and it's just got a lot of leaf damage for some reason. Don't know why. Then we got succulents still chugging along in a pot. I put just nothing but little pads and stuck them in there, and now they're like full-on plants, so that's cool. Over here we have a little jade plant that's just been struggling. In this pot, I have, what is it? I took little bulbs from the flowers we have in the front yard, because they produce bulbs along the stem underground, and I wanted to see if they would grow in here, and they are. I forget what they're called. I'll put it up on the screen. Next we have some Midday Flower, which is not ice plant. It's Midday Flower, totally different plant, but it grows really kind of weird and funky, kind of cool. The Tree of Heaven plant is coming back, pretty cool. I really like this thing. Mainly just because when you rub the leaves and smell it, it smells weird. So I wanted to keep it. Like the only reason. I've never grown this, I've never seen it before. It just grew wild, and I potted it up, and I don't know, I want to keep it and see what it does this year. We have 2 sunflowers that I wanted to plant. See? Sunflower, totally sunflower. So, pretty sure the weird plant that I dug up in my backyard is a sunflower. We have a little itty bitty tomato that I don't know how or why, but it's alive. And there it is. I got nothing in those cups back there. Next tray we got the succulents, all the jade succulents growing along. This mother of 1,000s lost all its stuff in the cold, but it comes back every year with these little itty bitty little shoots off the side. So big jade plant here, and the elm trees. This tall elm tree just threw a bunch of seeds in a cup last year, so these are about almost exactly a year old to about this time. And then just all all the elm trees that I would like to try to turn into bonsai. I have no idea if I can, but I'm gonna try. Here we have the orange tree that is growing. It's getting new growth, so it's alive. This was a canna from the canna planter that we have by the house, and this busted through the bottom of the planter and tried growing outside of it, so I lopped it off and put it in a pot. See if it'll grow. It hasn't wilted at all, so I'm assuming it's going to take. I got a good chunk of the tuber out, so that's basically what they grow from. They're a tuber, or a rhizome, whatever. They got a knob at the underground, and they like to grow from it. And they're really hard to kill, pretty much. All the hyacinths I got going on in the pots. They have not flowered yet, but I don't think they flower until like spring, and spring's still a couple weeks out. It looks like all the jade in my planter here has, I don't know, it's just like losing its leaves for some reason. All the leaves are just falling off. I don't know why. And they've gotten really yellow, and they were super green, so I don't know what happened there. This is an oleander that I grew from seed last year, and I kept it outside because it had, I think, spider mites on it. But I brought it back in because it looked really bad, and when oleanders look really bad, apparently that means they died. Like, all the leaves were all, like, hard and crispy. I'm assuming I just didn't water it it got a little too dry. But it still looked alive until you got up close and realized the leaves were not alive. And I peeled all the leaves off and brought it in here to see if it would do anything. We will see. Over here we have all the flats, which I took all the chia out of, except for that tray. We'll talk about that. So these trays, I want to try growing stuff from seed in for spring. Not sure what yet. I haven't even really planned it, but I'll have time because all next week is supposed to be really nasty weather. So in here we have my 3 little pear seedlings that sprouted. One jade that's sprouted in here. See, look at how nice and green that little guy looks. And this huge plant has just gone like all yellow. Don't know why. Don't know what's going on with that. And then I just have all these little weeds that have sprouted. They're like a common weed, but I thought maybe if I took care of them and tried to grow them on purpose to see just how well they'll grow. If I'm correct, I believe most of this is mustard. Wild mustard. So, we'll see what goes on there. Down here, we have my, what is it called? Thornless Honeylocus trees that I grew from seed last year. And hopefully they come back this year. I got a couple spider plants in here. This one looks like it finally is getting new growth. This is a jar that I took one Mother of a Thousand's seedlings and dropped it in here, and it grew this big old honking thing with huge leaves, but it died because of the cold. But all the little, the huge leaves made a bunch of babies on them, and they fell inside the cup. So now there's just like a million of these little Mother of a Thousands. And there's thousands of these little things in here. This is a geranium I had growing in my room, and it died. And I was going to put it in some water and put it in the greenhouse to see if it will grow roots. We'll see. I also have a couple of juniper cuttings in here with berries. I don't know. I just put them in here just because. And my big spider plants have been growing in here for years now. Over here, with the pine cones sitting in it, I have oleanders that I potted up. Whoop! These branches broke off. At least this big branch broke off from a big oleander we had growing in the front yard, and the snow load that we got snapped it, and I put it in water, and it took like 8-10 months to root in water, and it finally had roots. So like a month or so ago I potted it up, and it's still growing. If anything, I think it's getting some new growth, so that's cool. I think that's the last thing. Got a lot of stuff going on in here. So that's the update for March. By April, hopefully I have some things for the garden growing in the flats. Maybe like, I don't know, just like vegetables and stuff that I'd like to grow from seed in here. Although I do need to get some seeds, because there are some vegetables that I want to grow, but I don't have any more seeds. So that's a thing.